and welcome to round 3 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix. We're at Mallala Motorsport Park in South Australia to check out some of the best drifters in the country battle it out. We've got a custom-built course here at Mallala, so there's no home court advantage for the locals. So we're going to first check out what drifting's all about, then take a tour of the track before we check out the qualifying highlights. Drifting is motorsport meets extreme sport. Instead of being the first across the finish line, drivers are judged like in freestyle motocross or skateboarding. The judges outline the course and what they want to see, and during solo qualifying runs, drivers are assessed on that plus their line, speed and angle. The driver's qualifying score then determines who they go up against in the top 32 tandem battle eliminations. Drivers go head-to-head and they are then judged on their proximity and emulation. Basically, the aim is to drive as close to the car in front and copy or better their driving. Each driver gets a lead and follow run, and 3 judges choose a winner or a rerun. It makes for fierce racing and action that can't be beat by any other motorsport. The Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix is the country's national series and where the best drifters come to prove who's number one. For more info on judging, rules and the series, head to the website australiandriftinggp.com.
I was pretty happy with the track, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome actually. The new layout, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's an absolutely phenomenal track.
Really awesome track.
I'm enjoying it.
Oh, the new course is wicked. They're definitely pushing the drivers to do what they're not comfortable with.
Well, now that you've seen just how exciting this track can be, let's jump on board with Anthony CC and the Achilles Radial Jaws Technician Zafiro to take a look at the track and see what the judges want. Big run up, full throttle, high speed entry, hit that outer clipping zone on the outside of that straight before coming into the revised section of the Mallala track. Transition over the hump to come out to another outer clipping zone. And then the judges want to see them full noise and hit this last inner clipping point and continue on to finish off the course. Anthony CC qualified in the number 3 spot. Let's take a look at some of the other top qualifying runs. This is Simon Michaelmore now, the unique communication. This guy's a veteran here. He throws it big, lots of angle on that entry. Judges want to see these drivers be very aggressive, full throttle through that section of the track before the transition hits that outer clip. And now he is just piling on the speed, the smoke, and hitting that last inner clip for a very clean run indeed from Simon Michaelmore. He qualified in 4th place. Luke Fink now, currently tied number 1 in the championship with Rob White. This guy is almost the one to watch every time for qualifying and definitely doing it again. Perfect entry, hit that outer clipping zone on full noise, a little bit messy on that transition, but hits the outer clip. And now he comes into the last corner, hits that inner clipping point as well to finish the course for another stellar textbook run from Luke Fink, and he qualifies in the number 2 spot. Number 1 qualifier now, Rob White, Monster Energy 350Z, full throttle down the straight, throws it in to hit that first outer clip, straight back on the gas to power through the transition and come out to that second outer clipping zone. This guy is a surgeon when it comes to qualifying, hitting every clipping point, and that is why he qualified in the number 1 spot.
Well, we got first, you know. I put down 2 runs, went a little bit safe on the first and then went a little bit harder on the second, and yeah, we got the announcement a bit later on that night that we got first place, you know. Fink in second again, so it's first, second. You know, the controversy continues, so.
Yesterday after qualifying, ended up in 2nd. I was pretty happy with that. I was pretty happy with my run. We were having issues with the car before qualifying, got it sorted out for qualifying, so really happy with it.
Let's take a look at the rest of the qualifying order now. Plenty of South Australians in there, but the revised track showing that there is certainly got a home track advantage, with Rob White and Luke Fink 1 and 2. Nick Coulson in 5th, Lloyd Smith back in form in the number 6 spot. And Ben Purtell from Tasmania in 9th. He is battling it out with Danny Williamson for that number 3 spot in the championship, and he is in 10th place. So a stellar lineup in that top 10 for qualifying. Another driver worth mentioning, although not in the top 10, is Harry Hopes. He is definitely the most improved driver this weekend, as he qualified in 11th place, much higher up the order than he is used to.
Yeah, I ended up qualifying 11. It's the highest I've qualified yet. Usually I'm well above 20, so I put a couple of good runs together. The track I really like. I was a bit apprehensive about it at the beginning. It seemed to be a big long length to make, but no, plenty of speed coming into it and working out well.
At the other end of the spectrum, Denzo, the godfather of drift, was having massive problems in the Achilles Radial S15 this weekend.
Felt good, wicked, lots of power, and then went to do another practice run and threw it in, and then just felt this crazy vibration. I thought, well, that ain't right, so pulled into the pits and we had a look. So what we found is the back of the crank's moving up and down, so it's probably cracked and it's still together, but it's moving around. Anyway, so I'm screwed, I'm out, my engine's screwed. We can fix it, but we couldn't fix it overnight, dreaming.
Fellow registered driver Simon Michaelmore lent Denzo his practice or missile car, the 180SX, so that Denzo had a chance to get some points for the weekend.
I got around the track without spinning. At least he's got a spare car. At least he was nice enough to lend it to me. But I don't know, I might be using it tomorrow, might not be, because there's 2 of us that are meant to be using it maybe.
Hi, I'm Michael Prosnick and I drive the Supreme Caravans S13 from Victoria. We come to the Adelaide Super Cup at the start of the year. We put the 180 into the wall, so we took it back to Melbourne, ripped it apart, and put all the stuff into the rolling shell S13. We had the full roll cages, everything already built, so we just changed it over. Called the park ADGP. We had the same setup as we did in the 180, but we pulled that out afterwards and put the LS 6 litre, and all the driftworks knuckles. Going pretty good. Supreme Caravan is a family-owned business in Melbourne. They haven't just helped me out with drifting, they've actually supported the Victorian Drift Club. They put a lot of time and effort into the club, trying to get the sport to grow. TNT Carpentry, the boys from TNT put a lot of labour into the car. Lightning King Tattoos help us with all the airfares and travel. Creative Motorsports, excellent tunes, car's always running sweet. Taverna Brothers, they help with some modifications on the car, on the new S13. TME exhaust in Melton, all the wicked exhaust, and Supreme again, yeah.
Don't go anywhere, because after the break we'll check out our tandem battle eliminations here at round 3. Welcome back to round 3 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix. Qualifying has determined the order, and now we're about to head into the top 32 tandem battle eliminations. Well, our first pairing for these top 32 highlights is Rob White, the Monster Energy 350Z. He had no problem defeating Damien Croxton in the Power Up S13 over for Western Australia, and continues his championship crusade here at round 3. Next pairing in the top 32, Kelly Wong and Jared Klingberg, both very good competitors, but big dramas here for Jared Klingberg when he clipped that tyre wall and it sent him spinning around. Let's take another look. There was no major mechanical dramas to the car, and he was able to go through to have the second run, but that spin gave him a 0. Kelly Wong got the massive advantage. She was able to hold it together and go through to the top 16 once again, proving she is a very consistent driver. Matt Russell did so well in the last 2 rounds, but he was defeated by Hayden Buckham in the all-type crash VE Ute in the top 32. knocking him out early, but Hayden Buckham starting to show his true form here at round 3. The next pairing in the top 32, Ben Pertel in the Team GT Garage 180SX from Tasmania, up against Steve Burton in the PowerTech S14, a local driver that qualified up into the pro ranks. Judges couldn't split them on the first run, so they had to go the rerun. Ben Pertel having car issues all weekend, didn't get much practice time, and it showed in this battle with a lot of mistakes. Although none of them major, a bunch of small mistakes was all it took for Steve Burton to take the win and put a dent in Pertel's championship campaign. Simon Michaelmore in the Unique Communications S14 had no problem defeating Tim Greaves. This 14 battle here, Simon, a veteran at this track, loving the new track layout, putting on a show on every single lap for the crowd. One of the most intense battles of the weekend was Tom Monkhouse and John Papadopoulos. But before we check it out, let's catch up with Papa from the Insane Drifters.
Hi, I'm John Papadopoulos from the Insane Drifters. We're from Melbourne and I drive the Just Car Insurance S14. S14, still run the SR20, still 2 litre, tuned by Dr. Drift. We're making about 280 kilowatts at the moment. All the usual bolt-on parts, bigger turbo, bigger manifold. Run a VG30 gearbox just for some reliability. And other than that, it's pretty reliable and a nice little package to drive. We've been working with Just Car Insurance for the last 2 years now. They came on board as a major sponsor for the series when ADGP just started up. So it's been great to be involved with them. They help us out. They support young drivers. They support our series. So it's great to be involved with a company like that. Definitely having a team makes it easier. Bounce ideas off each other. We help each other out. No one wants to go driving by themselves as well. So drifting's fun, share it with your mates, so that's what we're doing. Being teammates with Agus is very interesting.
Huh?
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen the next minute. Nothing ever goes to plan, nothing ever is on time, but we get there, we have fun. That's what we love doing.
Let's get this battle underway now. Tom Monkhouse will lead on the first run as the higher qualifier of the pair. But look at Papa though, trying to stay right on his rear bar the entire way down the straight so they can enter together. That is the closest entry we've seen between any two cars so far this weekend. Papa pushing so hard, now trying to do the same on that last corner, push up on the inside, not quite able to get there. But I'll tell you what, the proximity on the entry was spectacular. Check it out in the replay, Papa pushing nice and hard on that entry. Great proximity. Wasn't able to keep it for the rest of the course, but on that first part, that's the closest we've seen anyone enter that corner together. Let's switch it around now. Papa leads against Tom Monkhouse in the JPC 180SX. Papa throws it in big. Monkhouse is there, not as close to him as what it was on the last run. But let's see what happens now as they transition back to that outer clip and come into this last corner. You can see Monkhouse pushing up closer, right up on the inside of John Papadopoulos. Monkhouse wasn't able to get as close at the start, but on the second part of the run, he was able to push it up nice and tight. So the judges have called it even Stevens and are asking to have a rerun. And that's what we're about to see now. Tom Monkhouse and John Papadopoulos. Monkhouse goes in full throttle, throws it big. Papa not as close as what he was on his last run, but he is trying to get there, pushing as hard as he can. Transitions back to that outer clip and tries to push his nose up on the inside of that JPC 180SX. Is able to get there. And another awesome battle between this pair that the judges have not been able to split so far. The judges now, they'll be getting picky, they'll be looking for the tiniest mistake. Monkhouse pushing in harder on his entry this time, getting closer. Both guys pedal to the metal, both transition to that outer clip, and you can see Monkhouse now pushing right up on the door of John Papadopoulos. He is getting even closer again, and that has got him the win. That has sealed the deal for Tom Monkhouse. Nick Coulson was able to defeat Jared Ridgway. In the top 32 battles, the local driver in the Truck Factory 180SX couldn't defeat the Drift Kid, who has been one of the most consistent drivers this year. Agus from the Insane Drifters able to avenge Papa by making it through the top 16 after defeating Carla Fry. Lloyd Smith back in top form this weekend in the AZ Custom Corolla. Harry Hopes got his very first win in the Australian Drifting Grand Prix and made it through to the top 16 for the very first time after defeating Dean Newcomb in the Sora. Harry Hopes on a high after that. Anthony Cece had no problem of taking down the godfather of drift in that borrowed car. That's Simon Michael Moore's practice car. So Anthony Cece flying the flag for Achilles. Dale Campaign, another one of our registered drivers based out of South Australia, had no problem making it through as well. Stewie O'Brien is a crowd favourite here in South Australia, and he's Mad Max inspired R32. It may not look like some of the pro cars, but there's some cool gear underneath, and the guy has some talent, and he took the win to go through. Western Australians going head-to-head in this battle, and Danny Williamson in the KW suspension. Achilles backed S15, got the win through to the top 16 to keep his championship alive. Daniel Pryor and Michael Simmons, two local drivers, battling it out for a place in the top 16. And Simmons was able to take the win in the little Toyota Corolla and go through to the next round. Luke Fink had no problem defeating Michael Bonney in the top 32, continuing his championship campaign in the Holford Motors S14, and as per usual, putting on a show for the crowd. We're here with Simon from Just Car Insurance, a big supporter of drifting in Australia. Mate, it's the first time that we've been to Mallala with ADGP, and it's a whole new track that no one's ever drifted. What do you think of it?
I absolutely love it. When I say we, I talk on behalf of all of our guys, you guys, but it's an absolutely phenomenal track. The drivers are loving it out there as well. It's awesome.
Now, every time we ask who your favourite is for the weekend, you always say the guys from Insane Drifters due to that association. But come on, between you and me, who have you been watching? And who do you like the most so far this weekend?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's the guy that actually puts out the most skids. And, you know, Rob White is doing a fantastic job. So money's on Rob White to win. He's my favourite at the moment, besides Insane Drifters, of course. So good luck to him.
Welcome back to round 3 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix. The top 32 has separated the men from the boys, and now it's time to head into the top 16.
Avocat et un ripoir collé, j'ai visé l'extase, une fois que j'aurai brassé ta cage, thorax mes courbés, les chocs de ma taille vont te débousseler, blackjack les ventreurs, comme Solar, je piquerai ton cœur, mon poids limite les mouvements, victime du boa constructeur, Don Juan d'Haïti, c'est pas une fantaisie, prouesse légendaire de Legacy, shit, t'es sur me compare.
Well, with the drivers' autograph session and the top 16 drivers parade finished, it's time to head into the top 16, but before we do, let's catch up with Australia's top female drifter.
Hi, I'm Kelly Wong from Adelaide and I drive the sleekest spare Zafiro. The car was built from the ground up by myself and my husband. Everything was done in-house other than roll cage and paint. GK Tech sponsor me, so I've got all the GK Tech parts. It's an RB25. We actually flew an engine 2 weeks ago at Matsuri, so we've just got a stock engine in there at the moment. Just some Tomei Pong cams, some GTX 3071, Nismo 740cc injectors, and it's tuned by Brenton and Forza Moore at 290 real kilowatts. Being the only female isn't too bad. At the start, people didn't really take me seriously, but now they're starting to, now that I'm starting to win battles. I think it's great that Carla's now competing with me. I've seen some of her YouTube videos. She's been drifting for longer than me, so I've sort of looked up to her, so I can't wait to battle her. It's our home track, so we decided to sponsor the event. We've got a trade stand here, which we take to most rounds. So we just thought we'd give it that bit of extra support by sponsoring it.
Well, here is our top 16 battle tree. There are some big matchups that are about to unfold already. Our first pairing, Rob White in the Monster Energy 350Z up against local driver and Australia's top female drifter, Kelly Wong in the Sleeker Spare Safiro. Rob White has his game face on though, his championship campaign is full steam ahead. He needs every single win. And Kelly Wong has been very consistent so far this year, getting through the top 16 at every round so far. She's doing pretty well to try and take the fight to Rob White. Hasn't got close enough proximity, but throws it away with a spin on the last corner. She tried to keep up with Rob White, but the speed of that Monster Energy 350Z was too much. She wasn't able to make it stick and has spun it around, which gives a massive advantage to Rob White. He'll be able to take it a little bit easy on this run. You can see him hanging back just that little bit, but doing what he needs to do and still putting on a good show for the crowd. Pushing up on her door on that last corner though, that big long sweeping corner is great for proximity. And Rob White is giving her just a little bit of a lesson. You see in the replay there, that spin from Kelly Wong made it an easy win for Rob White.
That's the first time I've actually been up against a woman, and I was, I've never actually had to go up against Callie or any other girls in the sport, and I feel different.
Well, Steve Burton gave us our first upset of the weekend in the top 32 when he defeated Ben Patel. How will he go now up against another local, Hayden Buckham, in the all-type crash VE? He is showing his true potential this weekend. Look at that, full steam ahead, throws it in big, hits that outer clip. Steve Burton hasn't got as much angle through that section and trying to keep up, tries to push up on the inside of Buckham, but once he puts the foot down, he is able to pull away, and the S14 simply not able to match the speed of that VE Ute. Let's switch it around now, see what happens. Steve Burton leading in the PowerTech S14. Hayden Buckham will take chase. Both drivers flat to the floor. Good entry from both. Hayden Buckham able to stay there. Can he get close proximity on this last corner? Because this is going to make or break most of the battles here this weekend. And you can see Buckham is able to push up on the door of Steve Burton and give him the advantage that he needs to take the win.
That was really close. I know Steve Burton, driven with him a lot. He actually lives 4 doors down from me. That was a real close battle. I think it was just I got a little bit more on his door in my chase run, and that was my advantage.
Now this is a matchup. Both veterans of the South Australian drift scene, Simon Michaelmore and Tom Monkhouse. They have gone at it so many times before, and this time around the judges couldn't separate them on the first battle, so now they are having a rerun. But look at that, full throttle entry from Simon Michaelmore. But Tom Monkhouse is able to answer the call. Great emulation there from Monkhouse as he follows through on the right line. He's trying to push up on that door of Michaelmore, not quite able to get right up there, but still a very, very good chase run indeed. Let's see what happens now as they switch it around. That first run, no advantage, really going either way. What happens this time around? Monkhouse going full throttle again. Michaelmore not as close on the start of that entry, but able to close some of that gap. What happens on the transition? Needs to push up on the inside there. He's starting to get there, but not quite all the way. I'll tell you what, this is going to come down to the most minute details. Who will take the win?
Oh, look, I was happy to go again. You know, me and Simon, we've been drifting for 10 years together. You know, so like it was always going to be a close battle. He had the more power, a bit better tyre, but at the same time, my car's pretty quick with what it's got. I'd just like to say a big thank you to Japanese Performance Centre, Keith and Erica. They've been very helpful to me and all my family and friends. I can't wait to bring it on top 8.
Our next pairing now, number 2 in last year's championship, Agus, in the Just Car Insurance 180SX from the Insane Drifters, going up against the Drift Kid, Nick Coulson, who has been super consistent in that Just Nice Cars, high torque performance VE Ute. He is the higher qualifier, so he leads full throttle down that straight, throws it in big. Agus, not quite as much angle to begin with, a couple of little corrections and doing everything he can to keep up with that big Commodore Ute, and he is just not able to quite get there. And Nick Coulson will have the advantage on that run. Let's see what happens as we turn it around now. Agus will lead the 180SX. Nick Coulson gives chase. Look how close he is following on that entry into the first corner. They both hit that out of clip. Very tidy through that transition to that second outer clipping point, but look at this, Nick Coulson is pushing up on that inside line of Agus and just getting that little bit closer compared to what Agus could to him. Check it out on the replay, you can see just how close the Drift Kid gets to the back of that Just Car 180SX, and that gets the job done.
Really good battle. That was the funnest battle I've had today so far with Agus. He drove really well. I think I just had it on him. I just had that proximity on him, and yeah, we did well.
Hi everyone, I'm Anthony CC from Adelaide and I'm driving the Jostech Achilles Nissan Safiro. I switched from the S13 to the Safiro because I've always loved four doors and the big power that RBs can make. The Safiro runs a 3-litre bottom end, full prepped and built, rods, pistons, Tomei pump, balance, you name it, it's done, OS kink and clutch. It's got 25 head with just stock 20 cams, pretty standard at the moment, the headwork. 6 boost manifold with Garrett 3582 turbo, Greddy plenum, 880cc injectors. It usually makes 350 kilowatts at the wheels, pretty much detuned on 21 pound. I haven't actually pushed it yet because it's pretty fresh and it's only my 3rd drive of the car. Jostech Automotive was started about 6 years ago. We specialise in Nissan's big time sort of thing. It's our sort of love and background. We do dyno tuning, engine building, all auto electrical and any performance mechanical work. Nah, no home track advantage, just take it as it comes and see what happens. I'm enjoying it. Most good drivers will adapt to any track pretty quickly. I think you just got to push hard and work with what we got. Killing it out there in practice. Apparently I'm the one to beat. The top entry speed of 146 k's an hour. Hawkins, get your cash ready because I'm going to hit 152.
Stick around because after the break we'll check out more top 16 tandem battle eliminations here at round 3 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix.
For 151.